Really quick. Oh, hey, what's up? This is post-reviewing footage, Isaac, and I noticed that for a decent chunk of this, some of the footage from the camera was kind of glitching out a little bit. So, if that bothers you, then you can listen to it. It's doing it right now. I need to figure out what the heck is going on. I got this camera recently, so we'll figure it out. I promise. But yeah, just ignore that, I guess. It is currently 2 degrees outside. It says it feels like it's -10. So we're just gonna say it's -10 degrees outside. But that doesn't matter because I'm in my nice, fluffy, warm Elmo onesie with a nice, fluffy, warm blanket. And also, yeah, the Elmo onesie is back. Elmo onesie! Looks so stupid. But yeah, when it's cold and you're all warm and you have a nice, fluffy blanket and you're sitting down, what's the best thing to do? Well, I don't know about you, but the correct answer should have been read stories. That's right. Either, you sit down and you read a story, or you sit down or listen to a story. And that's kind of what we're doing today. I'm honestly super sick and tired of those happy ending stories. So today we are going to be reading horrible first date stories. I don't know how this will go. If you guys genuinely like this type of content, let me know. I'll do more of it, but without further ado and too much yapping, let's get started with the first story of today. This was 11 years ago, so a while ago. I went on an online date with this guy when I first moved back home from college. We met up, and I have the habit of telling my parents, I'm going out, I'll be back later, with specifics, etc. Anyway, this time she says, I'm assuming her mom, just be careful. If you can't drive, get out of the car. We were en route to our first destination, and it was closed. So he asked me where I wanted to go, and I said, Hooters and bowling. I know, keep it classy right here. That's kind of a wild... It's kind of a wild place to want to go on a first date. If you guys don't know what Hooters is, keep it that way. Don't look into it. It's just a restaurant. Okay, that's all it is. His driving was so reckless. I mean, really bad. Anyway, we ended up going across town because he wanted to take me to this one place. By this time, I've determined that I'm not into him and I want out. So I just go along with it. Maybe we can just be friends, right? Bro got friend zoned so quick, what the heck. His brakes give out and we end up having an accident. We ran into the back of a truck pretty hard and I jerk forward, glasses flying off. After the smoke settles, when I'm nervous, I start laughing. He asks if I'm okay, and I said sure, and I'm looking for my glasses. And he goes, oh, this is bad, really bad. So I say, why? No insurance? He says, no, I have a warrant for my arrest. He gets out of the car and runs. As he's running into the sun, he yells, I'm really sorry, I can't afford to go to jail. What? Bro just ran away. He was really like, I'm not going back again, not after last time. The person we hit leaves, so I'm the only one there, and the police show up. I had to call my parents to come pick me up because I have no friends in the area, and of course, I gave the cops his info. I knew I wasn't going to talk to him again. The police gave me a ride to the gas station across the street. As I was waiting for someone to pick me up, I leaned back, took a picture in the cop car. I would do that too. Posted it on Facebook and tagged him in the picture. Somewhere in between the running, he found the time to get on Facebook and block me. So bro is running for his life so he doesn't go back to jail again. Totally valid, but why the heck would you stop to go, I need to block this girl really quick before, yeah. The bad part, not just about the accident, I didn't even get a chance to enjoy Hooters and wings. This girl's just like, I was hungry. I wanted some wings. He went out with a felon. Got in a car crash. I don't even know what to say. That's just insane. Also, you may have noticed, I have a haircut. It looks really, really bad right now because I just woke up. Here, I'll put some water in it. That should help. That did not help at all. This next story, I don't have the username of the person that had it, so I guess it's just we're gonna call this lady, Patricia, I guess. Why not? Way back in the 2000s, I went on a date with a guy because I thought he asked me out as a joke, and he helped me out with my algebra homework. He got us tickets to see the B movie. That is an interesting movie to see on a date. It's like a horrible movie, but also not horrible at the same time. I don't even know how to explain the B movie. The film and audio did not sync, and the whole thing lasted maybe 20 minutes. Oh, during that time, he kept trying to put his arm around me, and I kept leaning forward. Bro was just like, oh, she was probably just picking something up. I'll wait till she, okay. Why is she leaning forward? What the heck? After that, he took me to a Mexican restaurant and tried to order for me in Spanish. He was Mexican, and I'm very white. But I didn't like what he ordered, so I spoke up in Spanish and changed my order. Okay, so she knows how to speak Spanish. That's kind of cool. Kind of funny that she said and tried to order me in Spanish. Went back to our campus and he started talking about how our lives would look after we graduated. And he was in one military service branch and I in another. How we would do kids. Do kids? Maybe change the wording around on that. That's a little goofy. How we would have kids. Where we would live. Slow down, dude! Yeah, first date, you really shouldn't be yapping about that stuff too much. At the end of the date, he gave me some super expensive light sombre replicas. I probably pronounced saber. I have no clue. Sombre. Oh, it's a sword. Yo, low-key, if I got that on a first date, I wouldn't really be too mad.
Editing Isaac here. Ignore the background noise, please, but I don't know how my dumb ass did not realize that that was just a typo. She said lightsaber, that's what she was trying to say. Please forgive me, Star Wars fans, but she's the one who did the typo wrong. And apparently that is actually a type of sword, so I wasn't wrong.
I ended up donating them to the campus fencing club that I was a vice president of. Had a great time pretending to be a Sith/Jedi. Okay, that's valid. A year after that, he cornered my now husband, and asked him what his intentions were. He told my husband that I wasn't a normal person and should be dated as someone to eventually marry. Oh, okay, I thought this was gonna go south, but that's not as bad. I mean, it's kind of weird, but if someone cornered me, it's like, hey, listen, dude, the girl you're dating right now, don't date her just to date her. Like, date her with thinking that you're gonna marry her down the line. And now he's her husband, so maybe this works. Oddly enough, he was the third guy to tell my husband this. I had also briefly dated 2 other guys as well. Oh, golly. That's actually kind of cool. I don't know, something about that's kind of cool. I mean, the whole purpose of dating, in my opinion, is to get married. Like, that's why you do it. But, you know, we live in a society now that disagrees, but, you know, apparently that advice stuck, as we will be celebrating 16 years together and 14 married later this year. My odd date is happily married with 3 kids. We keep in touch randomly on Facebook. Okay. Although that was a bad date, that did have quite the wholesome ending. That was wholesome. I don't know. That just makes me feel good. That was such a wholesome story at the end. Oh my gosh. Enough wholesome stories though. Let's get into probably the worst depressing date story I've ever read. Ever. Hold on. I hear Simba meowing, so we're gonna let him in. We got a new special guest. Simba! My face is like completely glowing. What? Alright, this story is from Edgar Pickle 10 months ago, so this is fairly recent. Let's get started with it, shall we? I shared this before, but let me just say I swear that every word of it is true. Back at college, I met this girl and asked her if I could take her out to dinner. She said yes. But you? I was ecstatic. Well, then I had to figure out where to take her, to give her an idea of who I am and what I'm about. This dude's like thoughtful. He's like thinking about this. So I tried to do something that was thoughtful. I learned that there are 2 types of gifts, expensive and thoughtful. I mean, that is actually, yeah, I think that's pretty true. There's also just terrible gifts. If you can't do something expensive, which I couldn't, then you better go hard on the thoughtful. This was taking place in the US South, but she was a freshman from Philadelphia. I started thinking about things that would be new and interesting to her. The answer came to me in a flash. Bojangles? I'm so sorry, Southern people. I have no clue what this is. But yeah, I don't know what Bojangles is. I feel like I should know what that is. I'm assuming it's a restaurant. Simba, I need to get my keyboard. I need to see my keyboard. Oh, it's a fast, yeah, okay. Low-key. That looks super good. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That looks delicious. Okay. Alright. Bojangles is like a restaurant that's popular in the South. As someone from the Midwest, I literally never heard about this till just now, so... The more you know, I guess. I would take her to Bojangles. It's cheap, it used to have fairly decent food, but most of all, it's Southern, and we'd be able to discuss regional differences in food and culture. That's pretty smart. Like, honestly, that is a good date idea. Of course, it's also fast food, really crappy fast food. I mean, if we're gonna go, like, on a dinner date, I'm gonna take... Doing some ASMR, Simba? But yeah, if we're going on a date, I'm gonna take you somewhere nice. A fast food place? No. But it is smart that he's taking her somewhere, like, Southern. Like, if a girl were to come here, I don't really think in the Midwest there's any, like, restaurants that are just, like, ours. I can't think of anything. Maybe I could take her to Menards or something. I don't know. Is that a good date? The evening of the date arrived. I drove to her place and talked all about fried chicken and the South and tea and how it must be different from the North. We got there and ordered at the register. Then we moved down to pick up our tray of food. Fancy, huh? We waited and waited, and I tried to make some small talk. You know, the small talk that you make when something could interrupt your conversation at any moment. Then we waited some more and more. My dinner, fried chicken, was on the tray. The drinks were on the tray. Her sandwich was not. So we stood there and stood there, the silence growing more and more awkward. Minutes rolled by that felt like ages. Finally, an employee noticed us standing there and said, "Did you need something?" I said yes, that we need to grab her sandwich. The employee turned around and grabbed the sandwich from the place it had been sitting. The whole time we had been standing there, and put it on the tray. No, so you're telling me it was just like on the counter in the back somewhere, and they just never put it on the tray? Oh, Simba. Simba. We have Simba here. I don't know. If you guys like Simba as a special guest, maybe we can have him again. But for now, he is just jumping around and knocking stuff over. So we're going to bring him inside. If you guys like Simba, we might have him back again. But he's a little bit too rambunctious today. Maybe he'll be fine just sitting on my lap though. Maybe he'll actually be fine like this. No, he does not. He does not want to sit on my lap. So we're going to have to bring him inside. I'm sorry. I think he wants to go inside anyways, so... Say goodbye to Simba, guys! Well, he's gone. I guess that means there's only one cute male that you're gonna have to look at now. Alright. Where were we? Oh yeah, we're at the... them just putting the sandwich on the tray. Not a great start, yeah, for sure. I picked up the tray and started walking back to a table with her. But there was an issue. Bojangles used to have the best sweet tea. I always got a large. The cups they used for a large were kind of the smaller at the bottom, so you could fit them in your cup holder in your car. Oh, okay, yeah. That's great for a car, but not for balancing them on a tray. It fell over. Fortunately, it fell over onto the tray. Okay. But not before knocking her drink off of the tray onto the floor. She got in a smaller drink, which came in a wax cup instead of the plastic cup that the larges are in. That's important because it meant that when her cup hit the ground at about a 30-degree angle. Bro was measuring it and it was like, it was at about a 30-degree angle. The cup crushed and, oh no, the cup crushed and launched her liquid inside out like a cannon onto her foot, drenching her in Pepsi or Coke or some soft drink. Being gentlemanly, I went and got her a new drink. W guy. Got back to the table and I started trying to eat. I had ordered fried chicken, which I realized would mean I'd have to eat with my fingers, which was stupid on a first date. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys, ladies, do you care that much? Like, if a guy had to, if you went to a restaurant and he got like some sort of finger food that he had to eat with his fingers, would you care that much? That's kind of how you're supposed to eat fried chicken, right? Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think he was overthinking it a little bit. I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. Anyways, not wanting to look dumber, I decided I'd try to avoid eating with my fingers by using the plastic cutlery, I'm probably saying that wrong, provided by the store, which would have been a fine idea if not for the fact that Bojangles only provides you with a spork. Not a fork, not a spoon, not a knife, a spork. Could you imagine trying to eat fried chicken with a spork? A plastic spork, to be exact. I'm trying to pry the chicken off the bone with this plastic spork, and it's going nowhere. Yeah, I would assume so. I can't get the chicken off the bone. I dug a little deeper and really pushed, which bent the spork a little back, which served as a spring to launch the chicken breast across the table. Caught it before it could hit the floor. Bro, some W reflexes. I can just imagine this scene, dude. It would be so, it'd be so awkward. So, how's your classes going this semester? Whoa! Oh. Oh. I caught it. So do you have any hobbies? I remember thinking to myself, well, just enjoy this chicken because this date is going nowhere. Oh, that's kind of a pessimistic view to have, dude. I decided to forget it and eat the dang chicken with my fingers. She obviously was not going to go out with me anymore, so I decided not to worry about impressing her. Just try to get out of the situation without looking any dumber than I already did. I reached down and pulled off a nice piece of chicken with my fingers. And I missed my mouth. Seriously, I jammed the chicken into my face. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. I just missed, which of course made chicken grease all over my cheek. Oh my golly. I mean, that's probably not the most embarrassing thing that could have happened, but dude, that's just, bro just was too distracted by her beauty. Bro, that was bro, you could have rizzed her up. Oh, shoot. I missed. I guess I was just too distracted by your beautiful face. Treat me like white teeth. The girl was looking at me like she was waiting for me to tell her, it's just the prank, bro. I felt so dumb. We finished eating in silence. Finally I said, well, let me take you back to your dorm. I gathered up all the trash on the tray, walked over to the garbage can, and accidentally threw the whole thing into the trash. All of it. Cups, the sporks, the napkins, the tray, all of it. I looked at the girl, she looked at me, and we both ran to the car. As someone who works in fast food, well, it's kind of fast food. I'm just gonna say it's fast food. Throwing away the tray would suck. That would be so annoying if someone did. So, I don't blame them for running. We reuse those trays, so we have to wash them. So throwing it in the trash can is not, that wouldn't be fun. I've had some other bad dating experiences, but this one took the cake. I also remember being shocked when the car started when we were leaving. After the night I had, I was fully expecting to have to walk several miles back to the campus in the dark. Oh my gosh. That's probably the worst date story I've ever heard. Like, that was kind of sad. It was somewhat funny. Like, just everything went wrong. At least you got this story out of it. That's one way to think about it. That's why you just don't go to fast food restaurants, dude. That's why you go to fancy restaurants. They give you actual utensils. But yeah, the dude actually thought through this date too. He was like, we can go to a southern place because she's not from the south. We can discuss what it's like living in the South and what it's like for her to live in Pennsylvania. This would be a great idea, and it was until everything just completely went south. Anyways, next story. We're only at story like 3. Let's get some juicy stories. Come on. This story, once again, I did not get the username of the person, so we're also gonna call this lady Patricia 2. This story makes me yearn for the days my boundaries were non-existent, because it means I got into some crazy stuff. He seemed a tad quirky. He didn't own a cell phone. For instance, I asked him to meet me at one of my favorite coffee shops. I found him there. He has a laptop, but it's 20 years old, and I'm shocked it connects to Wi-Fi. What? He doesn't drink coffee. He's sitting there drinking milk from a plastic cup. I asked him to go outside. I can tell he's not showered. I'm sitting downwind and it's not very, oof. Yeah, if you're going on a date, fellas, You know, make sure you smell nice. This is where the 30-year-old me leaves, but the 26-year-old me stays. I tried to go, but we ended up walking past his truck, and he pulls out some flowers for me. But not ones he bought, the ones he picked from the side of the street, like a 5-year-old. I mean, that's kinda cute. If okay. If I pick flowers for you off of the side of the road and I give you some, you're telling me that wouldn't be somewhat cute. I saved money and you got a pretty flower that's just as beautiful as you. He wants to hang out longer, so he pulls out this telescope and we start going for a little walk. He has pockets full of Starburst candy. To be fair, Starburst is so good and he keeps offering them to me. It's too cloudy to use a telescope, and also, still daytime. I'm trying to hurry the walk up at this point. I found it odd that despite him not owning a cell phone, he had pretty much every possible electronic known to man in his tablet, laptop, Kindle, gaming system, everything. So strange. Just get a cell phone at that point. Like, I understand people are like, you know, I don't want a cell phone because, you know, I don't think it's good for my health. I just want to, you know, detox from what everyone else is doing. That's valid. But if you're going to have all that stuff, you might as well just get a cell phone at that point. Like, you're already having like 500 different devices. We circle back to the truck. I say goodbye, but he really wants to hang out longer. His face is super sad. His face is super sad. Oh my gosh. So I say, I need a ride to the pet fish. I need a ride to the pet fish store. That sounds like such a fake excuse. Because I did. It was my errand for the afternoon. Okay, so she was actually needing to go to the pet fish store. Such a random side quest. I get into his truck, ankle deep in 5-hour energy shots. He drives me 15 minutes to the local fish store where we look at fish. I purchased driftwood. I guess I'm somewhat hopeful. Maybe I can convince myself that this wasn't a terrible waste of time. At this point, it's dark and he keeps trying to touch me. But I also recall he was unshowered and it was gross. Yeah, that is kind of nasty. He thought I was an amazing catch because I play BioShock. Loki, I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's some sort of game. That's so funny. Could you imagine that being the only reason a guy is into you? Honestly, like, I think you're the best girl I've ever met because you're cracked at Fortnite. Also, we get hungry, so I recommend we eat somewhere quick because I want to get out ASAP, but I still don't know how to pull this parachute. We stood at a buy the slice kind of place. He makes me pay for my own $2 slice of pizza. That's not what you do. If you're taking someone out on a date, you should pay for it. After ordering his own, which was a little awkward, he asked me if I think they have milk. I say no. He asks them if they have milk. They say no. He pulls out his cargo pants, an enormous container of garlic salt. What? Why would you have that in your pants? Don't get me wrong, garlic salt is delicious. It's a great seasoning to add into mostly anything. But why would you be walking around and ask me if I want any? He offers to give me a ride home, but I lie and say I'm close, and walk home 2 miles in the dark by myself to try and decompress because holy crap, I should have left 4 hours ago. He leaves a voicemail from his parents saying he had a great time. I messaged him on Reddit and said we won't be hanging out again. What the heck happened in that day? That is crazy. That is wild. It's not as crazy as the convicted felon story, but that's just such a genuinely strange man. That was a pretty funny story. Like, I was laughing so hard. I hope you guys were too. Yeah, Patricia too. Thank you for that amazing story. Now let's do another one. I was on a date with a girl that I'd met doing some community theater. We'd gone to the movies to see Cloudy and a Chance for Meatballs. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. That's like a great movie to go see. Before the movie, we were chatting and slowly realizing that it definitely wasn't meant to work out. We just had too many conflicting interests and opinions. It made the experience incredibly uncomfortable, especially because we started lightly arguing over things like politics and religion. Oof, I was young and I was an idiot. So this is why, in my opinion, it's great to date. Like, this is ideal in my opinion. I think you should be friends with the person you date for a little bit before you start dating. Like, you shouldn't start off dating. I honestly think that goes best because there's a lot of people I'm friends with that I now know, hey, I would have never dated that person, and I know that because I'm friends with them, and I didn't have to get emotionally attached. Like, I think it's best that you're friends with them first. Obviously, it's not a requirement or anything. I just think it's a great idea. And then, if you guys think it'll work out, go on a date. And then it's less awkward too, because you're already friends. Like, it's just, I don't know. Before the movie started, I texted another friend of mine to tell her, the friend, how terribly the day was going. And then I heard the fateful sound immediately after clicking send on my phone. My date's phone chimed. She pulled it out of her purse and read whatever text had come in. She slowly turned to me and asked, "Did you mean to send that to me?" No. He accidentally sent her the wrong message. Oh my gosh, this date just isn't going well. Me and her were just not clicking. Oh no. I immediately realized it explained that I had just opened up whatever the most recent messages in my inbox was and replied to that with the intention of texting my friend. Or perhaps I clicked the wrong name in my contacts list. They both were the only names beginning with the letter M in my phone. Needless to say, she was pretty upset. I explained that, despite our differences, I really enjoyed her company. I really did, because she was brilliant and beautiful, certainly out of my league. W Riz. We continued the date as friends, which was more awkward than we had anticipated. After the movie, we went our separate ways, then I got back to my apartment, texted the same friend again about how our date was incredibly uncomfortable, and I doubted that there would be a follow-up. My phone chimes. You sent it to me again. First of all, W way to end this story. I felt bad for bro. He sent her a message basically saying this date is not going well to his date twice. Ooh. That's kind of funny though. That is low-key hilarious. Anyways, let's see another story. Why not? Alright, next story is from I Am a Swiftie. We're gonna ignore that. Editing to add a sincere apology for how long this post is. Oof. You know what? We love the long stories. They're always the most entertaining. One of the guys who worked at my gym asked me to hang out one time. I said yes. This was earlier in the week. When the day of our plans got closer, I asked if he had any thoughts on what we should do, and he said he couldn't think of anything. Come the day of the plans, I still hadn't heard back on what we were doing, so when we were discussing about what time we should meet up, I asked again. His response was something along the lines of, "Wherever the wind blows us." I didn't really have time to think of anything, which was wild to me because the man had days. But whatever, he was hot, so I went along with this. Mistake one. Yeah. You know, looks aren't everything. That's what you gotta realize. They definitely are something, though. Like, they helped in this bro's situation. If he was not hot, I guarantee you this lady would just been like, you know what, cancel this. You gotta plan something, man. I drive over to his apartment, and he drives us to the date. Mistake two. About 2 minutes into the drive, he cracks open a can of some sort. I look down, and what do I see? He just opened a White Claw while driving. For those of you who don't know what a White Claw is, it's just basically alcohol. It's beer. First of all, you shouldn't be drinking that when driving in general, but with your date in the car, what did you think would happen? Okay, this is not going good so far. I questioned it. He offered me... He offered you one? Bro is on another level. Bro is just like... What is that? Oh, this? It's a White Claw. You want one? No, I don't want one. Are you crazy? I declined, figuring at least one of us should not be drinking. And that was that. I asked him a third time where we were going, and it turns out there was no real plan for the evening. I was expecting we'd go to dinner and drinks or something, so I did not eat beforehand. Mistake three. We were driving around and talking, and then we arrived at our destination. Number one, a really popular park in my city. Keep in mind, it was probably 8:30 at night, dark, and generally not the time when you want to be at a park with the man you're hanging out with for the first time. Hear me out, ladies. First of all, don't go to the park at 8:30. That's crazy. But is this a good date? You go to a park and you play on the play set. You play the Floors Not Lava. I don't know. That sounds like a fun idea. It would be so much fun. It'd be so much fun. I don't know why. I just think that would be like so much fun. I really do like goofy girls. Girls that don't take themselves seriously at all. So, you know, a girl that'd be down to do that at least. 100% yes. I don't know what I'm yapping about. We get out of the car and walk to a spot with a nice water view and just chat for 30 to 45 minutes. Actually sounds pretty nice, you know, and you chatted for a while, so I'm sure you guys had a great conversation. And Then we get back to his car and drive to our random lookout point where we chat for another 30 or so minutes. We end up talking about fast food, french fries, what our favorites were. Turns out I'd never been to his favorite, KFC. KFC is okay. Where do we go next? KFC. It was probably 9:30 to 10 at this point, and I still had not had actual dinner. So I wasn't too mad about this, to be honest. To keep things condensed, here's the rest of our itinerary for the night. We drive to another park while he tells me about his work drama that he's involved in, while consuming 2 more White Claws. We drive back to his apartment complex, not to end the night, no, but to grab his 2 dogs. This was my way out and I didn't take it. Mistake 4. We then drive to, you guessed it, one more park. It's 11:30 to 12 at this point, and I am starving as we head back to his apartment. Not a lot of late night food options where I live, so I was just planning to get some sort of gas station food on my way home. He offers to buy us pizza though, so I say sure, why not? I would love a free meal right now. We get pizza, I head to his apartment. One of the few things I noticed, being a hole punched in the wall, we sit down and eat our pizza in silence. Then he watches this weird comedy series on YouTube. I finally tell him I'm gonna go home. I get a very unenthusiastic goodbye. I believe his exact words were, "Frick it, why would you say that?" And I drive the heck home. I received a text the next day saying, "It's clear I wasn't feeling it," and then he switched gym locations and I haven't seen him since. I wouldn't say that was a horrible day. It was just kind of unplanned, and you guys talked for like upwards of an hour, and it sounds like you guys had a decent conversation. But the White Claws, no. Going to the park so many times, also no. I think if we ended it after KFC, that would have been an okay day, but it just kept going way too long. Alright, I have been yapping for it. As of not editing this, it has almost been an hour, so we're going to do 2 more stories to end this off. We're going to do a short one and a long one. I did have some more stories planned, so if you guys want a part 2 of this, we could totally do that. I was thinking also about reenacting some of these, but first of all, I'm all by myself. I don't have someone else to do it, so not as fun when it's just you, right? Here we go. This is the long story. This one is from Nega Moonspoon. Funny name, kind of like that. This was 10 months ago, so this was fairly recent. Met a guy on Bumble when I was back in college and chatted for a few days. He asked me out on a date and wanted to take me to a cocktail bar. I declined that spot as I'm not a drinker. Also, why a cocktail bar on first meeting? He said he'd find something else. Another day comes and he demands my address to send an Uber. I declined. Said I'll drive myself, obviously for safe measure. If something went wrong, I would be able to leave when I wanted. He insisted and demanded I not bring a car. That is kind of a red flag, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I'm like, hey, do you want me to come pick you up? And the girl's like, no, I'd rather drive myself. I'd 100% respect that. I would definitely not be like, no, you can't bring your car. I'm picking you up. That's just like serial killer vibes. I was annoyed and sent an address down the street from me and waited there to be picked up. I got dolled up and hoped for the best. Unsure where the destination was too, the Uber stops, and lo and behold, it's the dang cocktail bar. Oof, that is not a good start. Fellas, if you suggest a date and your date says no, you gotta respect that. My mood went back down instantly. That makes sense. I walk in and call him to see where he is and he tells me he's not there yet. He lives down the street, so he was going to get ready and walk in when I arrived. Once again, I was annoyed. It took him about 10 to 15 minutes to walk to the bar. Being 10 to 15 minutes late to your own date is crazy. He walks in his gym attire, some super short shorts, and an old tee. He mentions he came from the gym like an hour ago and he was chilling until the date. I was once again annoyed and at this point lost interest that he didn't bother to even change. Yeah, that's crazy. If you go to a gym and then right to the date, oof, no, that's just not smart. The menu is handed over and of course I don't look at it because I don't drink. He asks me what I would like. It's on him. And I repeat again, I do not like drinking. He acts surprised as if we didn't have this conversation prior to the meeting when I declined the initial offer to meet him at the bar. Mind you, this cocktail bar was a theme one. The menu was full of cocktails based on local things like the college or characters, etc. The only food on the menu was some bread and caricature boards, I think that's how you say it, and caricature board type foods. I was not interested. Anyway, we were there for about 15 minutes as he ordered 2 drinks, one for himself and one for me. I took a small sip and then watched him down both small glasses. We then leave. He asked me if I want to go back to his place. I say no, and he asks why. I say because I don't want to and we don't know each other well. He says, that's okay, maybe let's go see a movie. I say sure. A movie won't hurt. Maybe I'm overreacting. He calls an Uber. We get in. The ride lasts about 5 minutes. I know that there's no movie theater this close. The Uber pulls up to an apartment complex. Heck nah, dude. She said no. She said no. Oh my gosh, what is this guy? This guy, he comes across as very entitled. My heart drops. I'm over it. We hop out of the car and he pulls me through the lobby. I'm making a sour face and he questions me. I tell him that I made it clear, she did, that I did not want to come to your apartment. He says his apartment has a huge TV and that will put on a movie for us to watch. That's not what I was expecting when he said let's go to the movies. Now I'm regretting not having my car in it. I reluctantly sit in the TV room and he puts on some kiddie YouTube show? He's like engrossed in it. I'm confused. He tries to turn my face for a kiss, but is constantly distracted by the YouTube show, staring at it while trying to pull me closer. So he's like trying to kiss her, but he keeps getting distracted by like Coco Melon or whatever.
Coco Melon! Hey kids, what's the number that comes after the letter A?
B!
Yes!
Sorry. I keep pulling away and he asks why he asks why I won't let him kiss me. That's so crazy to ask a girl. Weird. Oh, excuse me? Why aren't you letting me kiss you? I said, why should I? Exactly. I don't know you. He's offended now and storms out. I see this as my chance of escape, so I run out after a minute and head down the first staircase I see. I run to the bottom and hide under the stairs before I leave. Since I'm unsure of my location, I wanted to see what's nearby and if I was near a bus stop or a restaurant to hide it. I wait about 5 minutes and he's blowing up my phone. I put it to do not disturb. I run out and immediately start heading towards my heaven. I make it down the street and I hear someone yelling. I don't turn around. There's a lot of college kids being loud. Then I hear my name. Frick me, bro. He runs up to me and I reach an intersection, so I have to stop. He's like, where'd you go? Where are we walking right now? And I'm like, I'm going home. He freaks out on me saying I should have told him I don't drink. I should have told him that I didn't want to come back to his apartment, which I did. And then he says, I called you, then you didn't answer me. Show me your phone right now. Did you block me? Show me your phone. Mind you, all of this coming from a man I just met a few hours ago in person. I walk off, only telling him that for starters, I don't owe him anything, especially not access to my phone. I then walk away for about 20 minutes to make sure he wasn't following me, and I called an Uber back home. Wild story. That was way longer than I thought it was. That guy did not listen. That guy did not listen. Holy freaking moly. Like, that is just like genuinely horrible guy. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know this guy personally, but from what I've read in this story, this guy does not sound like a good dude. He literally was told, hey, I don't want to go to this cocktail bar. And he said, we'll go to the cocktail bar anyways. He was literally told, hey, I don't want to go back to your apartment. We'll go back to my apartment anyways. This is why you don't get in an Uber. Like, this girl, like, should have 100% fought more for having a car. I'm not victim blaming here. 100% it's the guy's fault. But if she had that car, this would have gone a lot more differently. All right, here is the last story. I went on a date with a girl from OkCupid. I honestly don't know what OkCupid is. I'm assuming it's like some sort of dating app. It was late-ish, about 9 p.m., and she sent me a message out of the blue. We talked for a while, and she wanted to meet up with food. I hadn't had dinner yet, so I agreed. We were to meet up at a local diner. Her profile picture was reasonable, not my typical type, but not awful. What showed up, however, was not great. She was about 5'2" and somewhere between 190 to 210 pounds. Rotund is the best. Rotund! That would have been fine if she wasn't so toadish. Shots fired. This dude's like, yeah, she was rotund and she looked like a toad. I'm trying to be nice here. Okay. Doesn't sound like it, but yeah, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. That would have been okay, but it wasn't just her. She had brought her friend along, a 16-year-old. I'm 22 and she's 20. To compound that, her friend brought her toddler along. Wait. She's 16 and she has a toddler? She was 14 when she had that child? Oh, and her friend brought along another friend. So here I am with 3 girls and a toddler that I don't know. All 3 girls had brought a Monster Energy. We sat down at the table, and it just went downhill from there. The toddler ran out of juice in her sippy cups, so the mom filled it up with... No, you did not. Monster Energy. And you gave it to a toddler? Bro, that toddler's just gonna be like... Mommy, look like... Then she let the toddler play with the sugar container. One of the shaker style ones. Big cylinder with little flap. Oh, big cylinder. Okay, I know what you're talking about. She promptly poured sugar all over the table and started licking it up. Dude, that child's gonna have the most crazy sugar rush. All the girls are laughing at the toddler and having a great time. They're talking amongst each other and not even attempting to include me in the conversation. After about 5 minutes of them ignoring me, they started talking about guys from high school. Long story short, I have a chicken sandwich, excused myself, apologized to the hostess/waitress for the mess, and the awful people. I left a $50 tip and got the heck out. Oof. First of all, bro got catfished by this woman. That was not anything like her profile picture, it sounds like, which he had some very descriptive words to use. Yeah, the toddler thing was crazy. Monster energy to a toddler. Heck no. Heck no, that's not a good idea. But yeah, those are some crazy, bad first date stories. We had actually a pretty wholesome one in there. That one made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Also, I waited to the end to mention this because if you made it to the end and you are currently watching this on YouTube, then you successfully watched through the first ever podcast episode of AMD Talks on YouTube. Let's get a clap for this person. Woo! Also, thank you for watching all the way to the end on Spotify. That is much, much appreciated. So, if you want to watch more content from me, I have a whole bunch of other episodes on Spotify. There's a link in the description. And if you want to check me out on YouTube and just subscribe to the podcast, there's a link also in the description of this podcast episode. So it'd be much appreciated if you from YouTube followed my Spotify podcast and you guys from Spotify subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. I will do another episode. I had so much fun reading these. I was laughing so much. I hope you guys were too. Now I just have to edit this monstrosity, which will not be as fun, but hopefully it's worth it. Anyways, love you guys. Peace out and see you in the next episode. Woo! It's always so awkward because then I have to stop.